Melissa Parker, Smashing Interviews Magazine.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi, Joe. How are you today?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good. Um, Wheels up.
Yeah, wheels up is right.
So when did you find out that the revival was definitely happening, and how did you feel about it?
Well, there was always rumblings that there's a possibility this was going to happen, but I've been in this business long enough that I don't believe anything. I always say, like, when about any of this stuff like that, like, hey, I hear such and such might be coming back. I always say, yeah, I'll believe it when I'm on the set and they say action. And until that moment, it's not real for me. But so there were rumblings, and then it got, seemed to be more realistic and more and more and more and more until finally that day came where they said action. And I had to say that first line is David Rossi once again. And that moment I said to myself, yes, I guess we're back. And so I'm just glad we are. We're right now I'm filming episode 9 of the 10 we're doing this season, and God willing, we'll do more. And I'm thrilled with what we've done so far, and I like the place we're in with the show right now.
How did it feel to be back on the set with most of the cast? Um,
It was great. Yeah, it was great. We really literally have bonded as one would imagine a group like this would, working together for so long as we have. And so it was a very pleasant reunion. We've all pretty much stayed in some touch with each other anyway. I mean, we had a text thread going all during the last 2.5 years, as far as that goes, and we'd occasionally see each other for different occasions or events. But it's like old home week, you know what I mean? It's just great. I know we're all glad to be back, and hopefully look forward to another sustained, amount of time together.
so I guess since you kept in contact, you guys got to talk about, wow, we're going to get this going again, and what the possibilities were. Did you, uh, everybody was sort of in sync? Did anybody see a script or anything like
No, I don't think so. I mean, and it is done a little differently this time. I mean, when you're on network television, you do 20, 24, 25 episodes. It's unlikely that more than 5 or 6 are pre-written when you start. So it's a little bit more of an evolution of seeing where you're going, where this was probably more thought out before we even got there, because they had to, because there's one storyline especially that kind of runs throughout all 10, kind of serializes it in some ways, but which is kind of cool though. So I mean, and it gave the writers an opportunity to kind of really, delve into that and create this kind of a link that makes each story kind of dependent on the next and the next and the next. And yet still each one has their own individual kind of thing going on as well. Things happen, you know, unto itself in each episode. So so there's that, that's the kind of one of the differences between doing it, streaming now and versus when we were on the network.
and the storyline this season has something to do with COVID. Uh, of course, I know that, the spoilers here. I'm not sure what's going to be spoilers and what's not. Can you talk about the storyline? Uh,
Well, there is that. We do acknowledge the fact that, that the world has gone through what it's gone through, and we were no different. So, in other words, things have happened. And I think we find out when it opens that Rossi, my character's in a pretty dark place due to
mhm.
circumstances that have happened during that time. Uh, and because we're on a streaming kind of service as opposed to the network, we're able to explore that in some pretty more graphic ways, both visually, vocally, language wise, all of that, which to me, I like, because it makes it that much more realistic. I mean, because we do represent a real organization. And if somebody was behind the scenes and watching what these men and women have to do every day, they're not being censored, they're not being edited. You have to see it as raw and as real as it's happening. And I think now we're given the opportunity to be even more realistic in how we portray what these men and women do every day and what they have to face. and still,
Yeah,
to have a drama, as part of it.
exactly. I was going to bring that up. Of course, it's a little startling
Yeah,
with the language. I like it
yeah,
because it's supposed to be real.
exactly.
Did it take a little bit for you to adapt? You know?
It probably took less for me than anybody else. No, I think a lot of people expect that if it's going to come from anybody, it's going to come from Rossi, you know. Uh, so no, I think it was a short jump for me to kind of get back into, or to delve into that realistic part of of that portrayal.
I think for me it might be a little scary for Penelope to,
Well, and rightly so,
you know,
and I think we do a good job of kind of showing that. Yeah.
the funniest scene to me was Rossi watching Penelope uh, type on the computer.
Oh
And
yeah, trying to give her a little advice, maybe. Yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah. Big mistake on my part, but that's right.
That brought back some memories for me as
Mhm.
I'm a Criminal Minds fan from the very beginning. So
That's great.
that brought back some memories for me. Zach Gilford does a very good job.
Wonderful actor. Yeah.
Mastermind. Had you worked with him before?
No, I hadn't. And I didn't know him. And the fact that his wife is also, a part of the show. Um, we've always been very blessed to have tremendous, guest actors. I mean, you go back to guys like C. Thomas Howell and
Hmm.
Tim Curry, and we've there's just a long list of just wonderful actors that we've had on the show over the many seasons, and this is just another example of it. Yeah, Zach is a wonderful actor.
Now, what episodes will you be directing?
I directed episode 3, so when you were able to see episode 3, that'll be the one I directed.
Okay. So, of course, we were talking about the language, and you briefly touched on this. So we could, without those network restrictions, we could basically see anything really, but more darker, probably
Hmm.
more blood and
Hmm.
gore, that type of thing. Uh, and there was some horror added also. I in particular jumped one time when the girl turns around and there he is. So
Hmm.
so that we can look as far as what the fans can basically see now. It just
Yeah, I mean, we had no problem pushing the envelope anyway. We don't. I don't deny that we were one of the more disturbing kinds of shows to watch in many ways before, and
mm,
I was a big proponent of that. I mean, I was a
mm,
defender of that, and still am, in the sense that I don't want to sugarcoat what these men and women do for a living. In other words, when I was a kid and I would watch these westerns, you'd see a guy get shot, and they go, "Ew," they fall over, and there was no blood, there was no nothing, and it was like, and it made you think, well, it's like a video game. It's
mm,
not. This is real stuff. And
mm.
so the way we do this portrayals now, it's not that we got markers really pushing an envelope, but we're not sanitizing it either. And I think that's important. It's like, yes, this is what this world is like, and thank God we have men and women who do their best to kind of save us from that. And so, but I think our fans understand that and get that, and and appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll remember, but you and I talked a few years ago, and I particularly brought up that fact. I believe that Mandy Patinkin left the show
Hmm.
sort of because of that reason. It was so dark.
Right, right, and
And
I can respect that, and that's fine. But like I said, I will never be the one to say that that I think that it's wrong for us to do that kind of portrayal. I think it would be a disservice and a disrespectful to the men and women who really do that. To say, "Oh yeah, that's freaky. That bothers me."
yeah,
No,
yeah.
no. Ask them if it bothers them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody wants to know, especially the fans, if Penelope and Alves have decided to.
Well, we'll have to see. I don't know. There's all kinds of things that I think people are gonna be entertained and surprised with that happens during the course of this coming season. And I think there's all kinds of, you know, that's to me, that's the strength of the show too, because it's called Criminal Minds, but that's only one aspect of the show. The
It
show doesn't
is.
run 15 seasons because we're so good at solving crimes. It's
Mhm.
also because the fans are invested in us as characters in their private lives. And
Mhm.
that will always be an important aspect of the show. And I
Mhm.
think they're going to see that there's going to be a few kinds of few wrinkles and a few changes and a few interesting things that happen.
So a possible appearance from Dr. Reed.
Anything is possible. Yes, anything is certainly possible.
I know the boy genius is sort of missing in action right
Oh
now.
yeah, yeah. We refer to him. I think I even have I think I have a line somewhere where I kind of say I'm thinking of giving him a call on some sort of question I
Uh-huh.
have.
Yeah.
But uh, but I
See,
think
fans take that as a clue.
yeah, let them take it for what it's worth. We'll see where that goes. Uh-huh.
Absolutely. Who's the person on the set that sort of cuts the tension with comedy?
I don't know. I think on occasion I have to kind of take that slot myself, only because they figure, oh, let the old guy, he can say anything and do anything. you know, it's okay. But I think at any given moment, any of us can and does, and that's what's good about it. We all have a pretty good, strong sense of humor. And at any given moment, somebody will take the lead on that. And that's what kind of keeps us all sane, and it's all good.
Well, now don't. Oh, we got 3 minutes left. Well, now don't talk about old now because my birthday is the day after yours.
Oh,
So
is it?
we'll
All
both
righty.
be a year older. So I can't talk to that. Yeah, mine's the 14th. So happy birthday
Okay.
in advance.
Same to you, Melissa. Great.
I saw I want to mention that I saw your cameo on Barry, and it was just hilarious.
Oh, great. Yeah, that was fun getting to play myself. That was kind of fun. Exactly.
I had an interview with Henry Winkler, and without saying your name at the time, he was telling me that it was a person on Criminal Minds that had I think he said, an attachment to an Italian restaurant
That's
or
right.
something.
My wife owned a restaurant for like 16 years. Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Henry, one of the nicest human beings on the planet, without
He
question.
absolutely is. Were you involved in any projects after Criminal Minds was
I
canceled?
was. I did a series that I was felt so strongly about, called As We See It. You might have been familiar with it. That was on Amazon Prime, created by Jason Katims, who did Friday Night Lights and Parenthood, and about these three young adults all on the autism spectrum, played by three actors who are on the spectrum.
Mm.
And I played the father of the lead young man. And it was a wonderful show. We shot 8 episodes. Unfortunately, Amazon decided not to go forward with it beyond that. But I'm immensely proud of the 8 episodes we did shoot. I think it was just a wonderful, wonderful series. And so I'm glad I had that opportunity to do that during the time between Criminal Minds, and Criminal Minds Evolution.
And you're absolutely still on The Simpsons. As
Still The Simpsons, my longest running character, over 30 years doing that role. So just did one a few weeks ago. Yeah.
wow, absolutely. Is there anything else you want to say about evolution?
No, no, just that it is an evolution, and we're just thrilled to be part of it. And we hope people enjoy it, seeing it as much as we've been enjoying, being back doing it.
Okay. Appreciate you taking the time today, Joe. Thanks so much.
Thank you,
Enjoyed
Melissa.
it.
You take care.
You too.